you see this? It's
something that'll change the world and human life as we know it.
When Monty talks, it's painful.
Monty, you have been so instrumental in kind of pointing me in the right direction.
It was about looking at your character defects in spirituality.
It's the integration of clinical practices with the 12 steps.
It's an absolute pleasure. He certainly knows a lot of people. He's got a lot of energy, and sometimes when you don't have so much energy, he picks you up and carries you.
Having the Monty'man there certainly helps.
This is one of the places that is about the business of the solution.
The views expressed on this special broadcast of the Take 12 radio show do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting or its affiliates. KHLT is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Now here's that guy who's getting less popular minute by minute. Your host, the Monty'man.
Well, greetings, friends and family. How the heck are you? Those of you in recovery, those of you who are advocates of, and perhaps some of you who should be. Welcome to another fine episode here at Take12Radio.com on your internet dial, broadcasting to you from the studios of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting on the outskirts of beautiful downtown Albany, Oregon. It's good to have you with us this week. Hey, listen, are you troubled by all the news, all the deaths, all the accidents, all the drug-related crimes that are surrounded around today's youth? We know that addiction is the number one health threat in our world. It is number one over any other illness. And yet, recovery from that gets the least amount of attention because of stigma. Well, one of the things that stigma says is that it makes a generalization. It paints with a broad brush, and it says, I know you're frustrated out there as adults, parents, teachers. Kids just aren't cutting it today. They're just not making it. They don't care. They're not educated. They're coming out of high school with a 5th grade reading level. They don't want to get jobs. They're lazy, blah, blah. We hear all these shaming statements all the time. And the truth of the matter is that's just not the case. The truth of the matter is most kids don't drink. The truth of the matter is most kids don't abuse drugs. And the ones that do and have, many of them are in recovery. Many of them have gotten clean and sober. Many of them have maybe experimented and come out the other side okay. And yet many of them are just thriving in society today and doing the deal, and they're productive members of society. They're active in their churches, their synagogues, their places of worship, and they're sharing their experience, strength, and hope of their life and their story with you if you will just listen. And we wanted to give some great kids an opportunity to share a little bit about what they're doing. In the studio with me today is the Christian rock group Relentless. They're all packed in here in this little tiny audio booth, and there's 6 of them here. And these guys are great. They really are. I've got just a ton of respect for them. And it really has little to do. It has some to do, but it has little to do with the fact that their lead guitarist is my son, Colin, because I probably wouldn't know them if it wasn't for Colin. And that's a really good thing. But the bottom line is, the biggest reason is because they all have integrity and they all love God and they're serving God in their own special way. So first of all, I just want to say to all you guys, welcome to Take 12 Radio. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to be listening to a couple of songs that they're going to be doing here. They're going to do a couple of acoustic sets here in the studio. But before we do that, why don't you guys just go around the room? We'll start with Colin because he's on my left here. Introduce yourself and tell the listeners what part you play in Relentless, what instrument you play, or if you're vocals or whatever. So we'll start with Colin.
All right, I'm Colin Meyer, and I play lead guitar for the band Relentless, and I'm very, very blessed to be a part of it.
My name is John Robb, and I'm the lead pianist or keyboardist in the band Relentless, and it's really been a good time in the band.
And by the way, Colin, how old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
John?
I'm 15.
Okay.
My name is Allison Smith, and I am a vocalist for the band Relentless, and I am 16.
16.
I'm Elena Ropp. I am also another vocalist, and I'm 17.
My name is Connor Smith, and I'm the rhythm guitarist, and I've only played guitar for 4 years, and it's just been such a great experience to be a part of this. And I'm 13 going on 14 in 2 days, the youngest member of the band.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm Jonah Kerner, and I am the drummer, and it's been fun working with everyone, and we're just getting started, but it's going to be a good ride, and it has been so far.
Right, and how old are you, Jonah?
Oh, I'm 16.
And you're 16. So let me ask you guys, and you just chime in there. Don't worry about talking over each other. Just chime in there. Who wants to answer this question? Here's the question. Do you think there is little hope for today's young people? And if you do think there's little hope, why? If you think there's more hope than what we really are seeing, why is there more hope?
Well, I think that there is a lot of hope for young people. It's just that young people, they're not being shown all the potential they have. They really don't know how much they have in them and what God can do through them. Because, God is kind of being pushed out of society as a popular thing or whatever. And so kids are not hearing the message they need to hear, that they are loved by someone and they have enormous potential.
That was Jonah. Elena, you were agreeing with that. You were shaking your head.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
I probably would have said what he said, but I totally agree with what when he said that they don't really see their full potential, because I feel like most of the kids that they don't know God, and when you know God, it's like you feel like, you see your gifts when you know Him and you have that intimate relationship with Him, and He kind of directs you towards your gifts, and He kind of directs you towards your purpose in life.
And so is that something you always recognized, or did you slowly come to the realization that you could sing and you could do it well? And that's not being braggadocious, by the way. Knowing you can do something well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've sang since I was really little,
Mm-hmm.
but I never, when I was younger, you don't really think about this is a God-given gift. And when I realized that, maybe in middle school, that He gave me the ability to sing, I took that as He gave me a gift, and I'm not just going to hold it to myself. I'm going to help other people realize their gifts through mine.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, you guys. Life is full of stresses, right? Let me address this to Allison. Is life smooth?
Sometimes it can be, but there's also a lot of bumpy road along the way, and what you've got to do during those times is just remember to always keep your focus on God, because He has a plan for your life no matter what direction it turns, and He can always make things work out for you, and He's always on your side.
Allison, what about kids who grow up in homes that don't have any faith? What would you say to them?
Well, sometimes it's difficult to remember, especially in difficult homes. It's hard to remember that there's someone there for you, because sometimes it feels like there isn't. And so that's when it's really important for kids to get involved in church groups and community things like that, where they can get the faith-based instruction.
We saw a presentation today that was excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. That was representative of Young Life, which is an organization that makes themselves available to unchurched kids. And when we say church, folks, we're talking about any place of worship. So it's open to them. It's not. It's nobody's trying to cram anything down their throat. They're just being available for young people. So you don't have to go to a quote unquote building necessarily, right, you guys?
Right.
To develop a relationship with your Creator.
Mm-hmm.
John, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, you can be basically anywhere and still have a relationship with God.
Let me do this real quick. Okay, Colin, you've grown up in a home where your parents believe in God, and we've taught you about God. Mm-hmm. And at some point, God was your parents' God. I mean, Jesus was because that was who your parents believed in.
Right.
When did it switch to where he was yours personally?
Well, I think it was like 4 years ago, I think, when I accepted Christ. And when that happened, I just kind of felt this flood of energy over me. And not necessarily believing in God because of you guys, but because I knew that without him, I just knew, just without him, my life would be completely different and not in a very good way. And I'm just really, really happy that I've kept strong in that belief, because I've definitely soared in my high school career and my music. And without God, I just wouldn't be at the point I am today.
Jonah, did you grow up in a Christian home?
Yes, I did. Actually, my parents were youth pastors, like ever since I was 10 months old. So I grew up as a pastor's kid, and they were not only teaching their youth group, but they also made a strong point to teach their own kids. And so I always had my parents there to help me out, but really, individually, I didn't really know God for myself until just a few years ago. I mean, I knew who God was. I always believed he existed. But when my family hit struggles and I hit struggles, then I kind of faded away from that until a few years ago. God really showed himself to me personally, and since then I've basically rededicated my life and I've been growing. But just because you're in a Christian home doesn't necessarily make you a Christian. And so it's always got to be a personal relationship with God, not like through someone else.
Is it hard, Connor, is it hard to be a Christian in the rest of the world? Do you go to public school, private school? What?
Yeah, I go to public school.
You go to public school? How is that for you, man?
It's a lot different than it is when you're at church, or if you were going to like a private Christian school like St. Anne Christian or East Lynn in Lebanon.
Right.
But at public school, you just have so many diverse people from diverse cultures. You have people from other countries. You have, in high school, you have foreign exchange students. You have people that have just never known God before and never known the grace that he gives. And so it is pretty hard because you're trying to make friends. And since God, like one of us said, I forget who it was, he isn't really a popular thing anymore in society. And so you're trying to make friends, but you're also trying to stay in touch with your Christian side. And so that makes being a Christian in public school really hard.
I was the one who said that.
You were?
Who else goes to public school besides Connor and
I do.
Colin? You go to public school?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges you face there?
Well, there are people who think that being a Christian means you think you're better than everyone else. And so it's sort of a little bit of a difficult stigma to get past. And it's hard to talk to people about God when you're in public school, because if they learn you're a Christian, they just don't want to listen because they think you're going to talk down to them. And so it's really important to always be, when you're talking to people about God, always be open and respectful of what they think, and always listen to them rather than shove anything down their throats.
Right. You bet. Now, John and Elena, you both go to a Christian school, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you go to a Christian school, does that mean there isn't kids getting into trouble or having problems or issues? I mean, it's not just smooth sailing, is it?
No, definitely not. Christian school is, our focus is God, but, that's not all what the students, their focus is God. Like Jonah said, that your relationship with God has to be your own. Mm-hmm. And just because you go to a Christian school doesn't mean that you're an automatic Christian,
Right. John, what about you? Some of the challenges you faced going to Christian school?
I haven't faced a lot of challenges as much as I've had with the public schools and stuff. The Christian schools, they are a lot more open to talking about God rather than what Allison said. The public schools are just like closed. They don't want to hear what your opinions are on God and stuff.
Right. And so, what are you active in your? Do you go to San Am? Is that where you go to?
No, I go to Eastland.
Eastland. So, do you play an active role in Eastland besides just taking classes?
Yeah, me and my sister both do the worship band and stuff there.
Right. So you're in that too, Elena. That's at there.
Yeah.
Colin, what about you? You as a Christian young man going to South Albany, which is a secular school, and that word secular isn't bad, everybody. It just means that it's not a faith-based school. What about challenges you've had? Because you have a lot of friends. You got friends that are Christians. You got friends that aren't, right?
Yeah. Half of my friends aren't Christians, but they do know about Jesus, which it's very difficult because I actually have atheist friends. So it's difficult to express myself in public school. I mean, and just in general, and not just around my friends. But it's very hard to express yourself without you being persecuted for it or anything like that, because it's generally frowned upon because people, like Allison said, Christians have this stigma that they think that they're better than everyone else, but that's totally not true.
Right.
So you shouldn't be afraid to show your opinion, whether what setting you're in. You shouldn't be afraid to show your opinion as a Christian. Just lay it out there and don't be afraid to glorify God.
What Colin said about persecution, I think that it's weird how different, like in the Middle East and on the other half of the globe, you're looking at people that they share their beliefs about being a Christian, and then they're getting beheaded and they're getting killed. And then you come over here and you look at the schools and people that share their beliefs about being Christian, they're getting persecuted in the form of losing their friends. And in a couple of years, when you get out of school or you go to a new school or you move if your family moves, it's not really going to matter anymore. And I think that a lot of people are just afraid to share their beliefs because they're afraid of getting quote-unquote persecuted.
Yeah. And whatever you believe in out there, and we have a lot of listeners that believe in a lot of different things, and we respect that. Not all of our shows are as focused on this issue as today's is, because we reach a wide variety of people, but we don't compromise. We don't apologize for our faith either. But it's interesting because I had this discussion, you guys, with somebody on Facebook the other day. Christianity is still the number one most persecuted, well, actually number two. Judaism is number one, and Christianity number two most persecuted faith in the country. And it's, I think, let's see what you guys think. I think it's because it poses a threat, whereas other ones don't. You know what I mean? It poses a threat because our God is God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are they're afraid of that for whatever reason. Some people have been spiritually abused. Some people have been in churches that have been cruel and non-accepting and anything other than Christ-like. I mean, that's out there, right? Because we're human beings. Yeah. Anybody want to comment on that before we take the break?
Well, yeah. Nah, I actually just forgot what I was going to say.
I think that the majority of people know about Christianity, like they know the faith, but a lot of them don't express it, and they're not Christians. But it's definitely one of the faiths that stick out there the most. And so that's why, I mean, power comes in numbers. So that's probably why Christians get, persecuted and people don't like them that much, because there's a lot of them. And if we were to do something about it, I think that the world has something coming for them.
Ooh, Colin. Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, let's shift gears a little bit, and let's talk about why Relentless and how Relentless got started, and some of your guys' hopes and dreams and goals and what you want to get across in the music you do. So, folks, don't go away. More with our guests this week, the gang from Relentless, Colin, John, Allison, Elena, Connor, and Jonah, when we come back. When it comes to drug and alcohol treatment, all of us here at Take 12 Radio understand how overwhelming it is to find the right facility for you and your loved one. The internet alone is flooded with drug and alcohol treatment centers claiming to be the one that can help achieve a life of abundance free from addiction. How can one possibly know which one to choose? Well, when you call Broad Highway Recovery for a drug and alcohol treatment referral, you will immediately know that the person who answers the phone is very passionate about making sure they recommend the best facility for the individual that's in need. They will narrow your search down to 3 drug rehab facilities based on the information that you provide. Each call is confidential, and each caller will be treated with the utmost respect and compassion. Look you don't have to go through this alone. The folks at Broad Highway are interventionists that are 100% committed to helping your family. If you are willing to go to any length for your loved one, then they can help you begin the recovery process. Please call them today and take the first step towards a new and bright future on the broad highway of recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. Their toll-free number is 877-487-1599. That's 877-487-1599. Visit their website at broadhighwayrecovery.com.
Origins Recovery Centers provides integrated inpatient treatment for substance abuse and co-occurring disorders. At Origins, clients receive expert medical, clinical, and spiritual care individually designed for their needs. Our clients leave Origins with a foundation upon which they will build the rest of their lives. Call now to speak with an admission specialist. Our toll-free number is 888-843-8935. That's 888-843-8935. Origins, delivering real solutions for real families.
All right, welcome back. You have joined us here at Take12Radio.com. It's Toby Mac, Lose My Soul. Hey, listen, our email address here is Take12Radio@Comcast.net. If you are not of the Christian faith and you are used to Interview Friday being something that is all surrounded around recovery, hang in there with us, please. We have a method to our madness, and that is because we want to share today, all this week, about kids that are doing the deal. They're productive members of society. They have a faith in God. It may not be your faith. That's okay. But it is theirs, and they're sharing their experience, strength, and hope. And let me ask you guys, before we talk about Relentless, I hit on this a minute ago, and I'm going to start out with Allison. Life does have its struggles. We can all agree on that. Some people have a genetic disposition to addiction. Other people don't, but they will abuse drugs anyway. And I'm not excusing those of us who've had genetic dispositions, but there's a different thing going on with that. We know that 1 in 5 people, like if you take your schools, and we had every 5th person stand up, that would represent somebody that will probably have to die behind addiction, alcohol, or alcoholism in order for the rest of you guys to live. Wow. That's a spooky thing. And so we tell people all the time, when they say, well, I'm a high school kid, why can't I even just try beer? Because you don't know if you're the 1 in 5 that's genetically disposed, and you might be crossing that line just by putting that in your system. Some people get away with it. Thank goodness it doesn't get them. But for those of you that are sitting here right now, you go through trials, you go through tribulations. Why not medicate? Why not put something in your body that makes you feel a little less stressed? Who wants to start with that?
I'm just going to be really real with everyone here. I have really bad depression, and I have to take antidepressants. Mm-hmm. And I hate telling people that because it's something of part of me that I don't like people to look at me like I'm broken.
Because it's controversial too, right? Yeah.
And I have to say the medication does help
Mm-hmm.
a lot, but I feel like that it just helps me. The majority of where my joy comes from and the peace in my heart, it's Jesus, and I want to say that without, like I'm teaching a Sunday school lesson or something. Like,
right, it's your experience, though. Yeah.
Like, I have this really intimate relationship with God, and, like, He is so much bigger than any medication that we could ever take. He is so much bigger than anything that we would go to look for comfort. And, I just, like, the medicine helps me, but what I lean on is God. Because He's the one who, He knows me, He knows my heart and everything, and He knows what makes me feel better, and He knows what helps me.
And you're not abusing the medication, you're taking it as directed.
And sometimes I forget to take it,
Forgets it. And sometimes, don't you guys all agree that I mean, God gives doctors, right? I mean, sometimes we have to get some outside help. We need some medication or counseling or whatever.
Right.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
No shame in that. Thank you for being very candid about that. Thank you. Who wants to address that next? Why not? And let's talk about illicit drugs and things that you're not taking for your health, like in your case, that you're taking it for your health. Why not medicate with that stuff? I mean, everybody else is, right?
Not necessarily. Well, there's so much else to do rather than medicate, like take drugs and drink alcohol. Like what I've done is music. Music has just helped me so much throughout the years. Especially whenever I'm going through a struggle, it's something that I've always loved doing, and so having those alternatives, like music, can give you that, like, not real high, but like that sort of happiness that comes with that. So
you guys are all shaking your heads, yeah.
As a musician, and all my fellow musicians know what this is, there's a thing called a musical moment. And
everybody go,
that's real cute.
Personally, I've definitely experienced these moments. And whether I'm playing for Relentless, playing on the worship team, or playing in my school band, there are times when I experience a sort of high from music. And I don't know, it's just doing something that I love and doing it for God at the same time. I don't get any consequences for it or bad things coming from it. I just get that quote-unquote high. And I believe that if you were to do drugs and alcohol, you get this buzz for it, but that lasts a very short time. And you don't get anything from it. You're most likely to get bad things from it, and that's about it. And with music, you can get way farther in life than you would ever expect.
Yeah, right on. Right on.
That's why I choose music over drugs.
So let's talk about music. Let's talk about Relentless. Who's been in the band the longest?
We were
here for fine arts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were all started this thing together.
Yep.
Okay, so who wants to tell us and the listeners how you guys came together?
I will.
Okay,
I'll do that. So there's this annual Assemblies of God talent show sort of thing called Fine Arts, and so basically,
and it's national, right?
Yeah,
it's a national competition thing.
Yeah. So it's devoted to helping people find and use their talents, and so we decided to do this, and it was admittedly a little bit late. It was 8 weeks, I think, before the thing actually happened. And we decided to try to do an original song in that 8-week span. So it was kind of crazy.
You guys are animals.
We couldn't wait around and decide, well, do we want to do this? So we just decided to go for it. And we pulled it off, and we actually qualified for nationals. We're not going to go, but that's how this got started, to get ready for that thing. And we just after going to the conference and listening to the speakers, we decided this is something that we want to do on a long-term basis, and we can use it to serve God and to help others.
And the reason you guys aren't going to nationals is primarily financial, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just very
Yeah.
expensive to do.
Yeah.
But you guys won. You guys qualified for nationals, which is a big deal. And one of the things that I was impressed with was they weren't just coaching you on how to sing and how to play and how to be, shine the brightest under glory lights. Just the opposite, right? They were teaching you guys how to be humble, how to stay focused, how to stay centered, and really understand what your purpose was. So what is your purpose as Relentless? Who wants to address that?
Do you remember what our mission statement is?
I can't quote it, but it's we exist to bring glory to God through our music by, maybe I can quote it, by leading believers closer to God and giving hope to the lost.
Very good. Very good. Is that close, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys came together and you did the fine arts thing. Did you have any intention on continuing?
Well, I think we just kind of did it because our youth pastor, Andy, he
Andy
came,
Rosen, yeah.
he came to us and he said, "Hey, you guys want to do this thing called fine arts?" And I guess he just kind of went and talked to individual people. That's how I was brought to it. And we just decided to go for it. And I guess since we did well and we compute really well as a group, I think we just decided to keep it going. And it was so good at the conference that we definitely felt that we could use our musical talents to glorify God in the future.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of funny. At first, this guy, Connor,
I
he
was
didn't
gonna
want to
say
do
funny.
it, but Colin convinced him to do it. So how do you feel about it now?
Well, I mean, I was the guy that during the fine arts meeting during youth group, I was laying in the back on a chair while my sister and my mom were sitting there listening. I was taking a nap, just enjoying getting some beauty rest. And then later that week, Colin comes up to me at church and he goes, "Hey, we really need you to do a second guitar, and your friend that plays bass, yeah, we need him too. So we kind of need you. I don't care if you want to do it or not. You're doing it. Drag your friend into it too." And so, welcome to the band.
How it went down.
It's not how it went down, but it was pretty close.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, listen, we're going to listen to a song. This song is called the Revelation song. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to introduce it? John, why don't you introduce it? I haven't heard from you in a couple minutes.
The Revelation song is just, I think it's a really good song, and it's a song that I think most of the listeners would really like to hear.
All right. So here we go, folks. We'll be right back and check this out. The Revelation song performed by Relentless.
Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Holy, holy is He. Sing a new song to Him who sits on heaven's mercy seat. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God
All right, very nice, you guys. Good job. Congratulations. We're going to hear another song here in just a minute, but before we do, we're going to take our last break. Folks, don't go away. More with the Christian rock band Relentless right after we listen to a message from Therapia and Serenity Springs. Serenity Springs Recovery Center, located on the beautiful east coast of Florida. A unique facility that is committed to providing exceptional individual care in small group settings while utilizing their experienced and dedicated clinical and support staff of licensed therapists and doctors. Visit their website, serenityspringsrecovery.com, or call 386-423-4540. Serenity Springs, making a life-changing investment into your recovery.
Men, women, and their families experience tremendous pain and suffering due to the struggles they face from substance abuse and its co-occurring mental health challenges. They need to find a safe place for peace and healing. Therapia Addiction Healing Center was born out of a deep desire to provide that safe and powerful healing environment. Therapia exists to help people recover from addictions by developing and maintaining healthy, meaningful relationships with God, self, and others. To speak with an addiction specialist, call 1-855-652-4325. That's 1-855-652-4325. Or visit our website at www.therapia.net. Therapia Addiction Healing Center, restoring lives one step at a time.
God's not dead, he's surely alive. He's living on the inside.
That's the Newsboys, God's Not Dead. I love that song, and you're going to love this next song we're going to listen to here in just a second by the group Relentless, or performed by the group Relentless. Before we do that, though, what do you guys, do you have a vision for the future for the band? Do you have any ideas, or are you just kind of doing it one day at a time?
Well, we just want to keep ministering around the community to anyone who wants to hear us, and we really enjoy performing, and I've loved especially like reaching out to a bunch of different types of people, because we performed different places, and so it's just been, we just want to keep doing that and keep praising God.
How can people get a hold of you guys to have you guys come play, to maybe worship in their church or their events, or to do a concert?
Well, you can call us.
541-974-5430.
And you can always, if you forget that or whatever, folks, you can always call me here at the station on our contacts link, and we'll make sure that we get you in touch. So 541-974-5430 is the number to call if you want Relentless to come and play. Okay, so you want to keep doing this thing. You want to keep sharing the message. You guys working on a new song currently?
Well, right now we're actually looking for a new bassist.
You need a bassist.
We need a new bass player, because our last one kind of just
it was
kind
the
of fell
guy
off the face of the earth. So
that happens in bands, right?
Yeah, it happens all the time. So we're looking for a committed bassist, so that we can, because what we want to do this summer is actually get into the studio and professionally record our single Ignite, which is the song that we played for Fine Arts.
Yeah. So that's your original song.
Yes.
Right, the one you guys wrote.
Yeah, and we're currently working on a bunch of different original songs right now. It's just going to be difficult actually writing them and writing lyrics to them and figuring out music without a bassist. So we're kind of just looking for a bassist right now.
So you need a bassist. Okay. So if you are a bass player, you're enthusiastic and you're not afraid of commitment, right? Because you need somebody that, and you guys will count the cost with them. You'll sit down with them and say, "Look, this is what our plan is. This is what we're doing." Or her, and this is what our rehearsal thing is. Blah 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 blah. If you're interested in that, please, you can contact us here at the station, and we'll forward that information on to them. Or you can call 541-974-5430. Calling all bassists. Not bassets. I saw that announcement on our refrigerator this morning, and I'm like, "What's a bassist?" And that's just, That's because I'm old. Okay, this next song, who wants to introduce it?
I'll introduce it.
Okay, John.
It's called 10,000 Reasons because there's 10,000 reasons that you should hear it. Something like that. Anyways, it's a great song. We've done this song actually before Relentless was officially together as a worship team, and so yeah, this is a song with deep roots.
Okay. Here's 10,000 Reasons.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul. Worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing Your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul. Worship Your You're rich in love and You're slow to anger. Your name is great and Your heart is kind. For all Your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul. Worship Your on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come. Still my soul will sing Your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul. Worship Your holy name.
Okay, we have returned. Let me ask you guys, why Relentless? And share with us some of the other names that you came up with.
Okay, I came up with the name Relentless, but a lot of people didn't like it. So
It's only because my name was my idea was more brilliant.
I liked Jonas.
whatever.
Jonah's idea was
You wouldn't get anywhere with Jonah.
Jonah's idea was sheep with a map.
Sheep with a map.
Yeah.
That is... okay, so why Relentless?
Well, the
Actually, I don't like
reason it came up in my mind when we were thinking of a name is because, like, God he's not going to relent until he has every part of us. And that's actually a song, so it was kind of based off of that.
That's why I'm the drummer, not the vocalist.
That's a reason for that.
Also, like, well, in my heart, I don't know if this is how everyone feels, but, like, I'm not going to relent until I have every part of Jesus. Like, I'm not going to relent until I can see him face to face someday in heaven, and that, you know, like, he'll tell me, good job, my good and faithful servant. Like, I'm not going to relent until that day comes.
So, Allison, do you guys all get along?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I'm siblings with Connor, and so... Oh, okay.
Hey, John, can you just leave?
It's a free country.
Okay, John, do you guys all get along?
Yeah, I think we all get along.
Yeah. So, you guys ever, like, bump heads? I mean,
Yeah, me and Colin, we had a few things, like, when we were doing a performance at East Lynn Christian for chapel,
right.
It was like we were trying to figure out the way we were doing the song, and I had in my head one way we were going to sing it, and he had in his head another way.
Set a fire?
Yeah.
I
so then we
remember
were just like, well, no, it's this way, and then eventually I just relented regardless of our band name.
Yeah, we've never had like a knockdown drag out fight.
No.
Yet.
Right.
Yeah, not yet.
So do you guys pray together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Every before every rehearsal we pray, before every performance we pray, and after. So.
Yep.
It's definitely a very important part.
Right.
Of fellowship.
Right. Now you here's an interesting thing. I don't know if you guys know this about Colin or not, so I'm going to give him up on this. I'm going to put him out there on the platter.
Watch your mouth.
Okay. We had attended another place of worship. We'll go without saying the name because it would be inappropriate to do that. But this was his first exposure to being on a worship team, and he was like, I'm never going to get on a worship team. I'm never going to. And he got on, right? And then it was not too many weeks later, the Lord opened a door and moved us and changed a chapter in our lives. And our family ended up at Oak Creek Christian Center. Plug. And Colin, poor Colin's like, I'm never going to get on the worship team there. I'm never going to make it. You know. And so I tell you that story because we don't know what God's up to, right? Have you guys ever felt like, I'm just not going to be good at this. Maybe I'm not good at this. Do you ever question yourself when it comes to Relentless and your part you play?
Well, yeah, when I first joined the worship team, I'm not gonna lie, I was like 10% as good as I am right now. I was just like not confident and stuff, and so it was my first group setting. It was a few years ago when we started doing youth worship, and so at the beginning I couldn't really do anything, but then over time I developed some confidence. So now I'm not the best drummer on earth, but a lot of it is confidence, and as we're playing together and working together, we're going to build that confidence and hopefully keep getting better as musicians.
Yeah. Connor, what about you?
Yeah, I always question myself. I'm in another band with just me and my friends, and we like to call it Three Musicians in Connor because they're all in band at school, and I'm just over here singing in choir. La la la! And so that's why we call it, we've shortened it to 3MC, except we just call it Three Musicians in Connor, and they're far better than I am. They're far better. They're so much better. And so, yeah, I guess sometimes I do definitely question myself, and I question myself with Relentless and just worship in general.
Yeah.
If I should do what I'm doing, or if I'm just dragging everybody down. And so I think we definitely do all question ourselves at times.
Elena? Question yourself ever?
Mostly with like tempo. I'm terrible at tempo, and I'm not confident in that area.
Uh-huh.
Tempo and harmonizing, that area. But
Enter
other than-
metronome.
yeah. Other than that, I'm okay.
How about you, Allison?
Yeah, I think it comes with being being in a position where we're performing. I think questioning yourself it's always going to happen.
Right.
And so what you have to remember is it's all in God's control. Like, that's really helped me a lot, is remembering that God has it all figured out for me even before I start. So there's no reason why I should be worried about it.
Sure. John, how about you?
Yes, I question myself a lot in and out of the band of Relentless, and kind of like the same with Elena, I am very, very bad at tempo. And same with Jonah Kerner.
He's bad at tempo, or you're bad at Jonah Kerner?
No, that's not what I was implying. But
You're lucky.
Yes, I am. The thing I was trying to steal from him is that, over the years that I've been in a worship band and doing stuff like that, I've built up my confidence a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm less nervous. I'm less nervous now than I was then.
Colin, how about you, buddy?
Well, I have definitely struggled in starting this whole process. Right before Fine Arts, before Andy came up to me, actually it was when Andy came up to me, and I wasn't really sure about doing Fine Arts because, I don't know, I just didn't think that I was, I knew that I was decent at guitar, but I didn't think that I was that great. So that really made me question whether I should do it or not. But I'm really glad that I did, because I've definitely grown to be a better musician. And now that I'm on the worship team at Oak Creek, at the beginning, when I first joined the worship team, I was pretty bad because I was nervous and all that stuff. But my confidence level has definitely grown, and we're more like a family now than we ever were.
Right. Okay, I've only got a couple more questions for you guys, and one of them is, who in the group would you guys agree is the most serious?
Yeah.
Elena.
Wait, really?
Elena?
Yeah.
Serious like personality, or serious about what we're doing?
No, serious like personality-wise. I know you're all serious about what you're doing, but, who's the most kind of sober-minded, serious?
We're all pretty silly at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to hit on that in a minute. But so is Elena the most serious?
I think Colin's the most serious. Colin likes to have fun, and Colin likes to bounce off the walls, but if we're like doing bad at something, then he's like, guys, we need to fix this. And then he'll tell us what we're doing wrong, and then we'll fix it. And then he just goes back to being bouncy Colin.
Yeah, he's kind of like the
cruel overlord.
the dictator. I was gonna say like the mother goose putting all the little geese in its place, but whatever works.
We all love you, Colin.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so between Colin and Elena, you guys are the most serious. Who's the clown?
Connor.
Hands down,
Yeah,
Connor.
there's no competition there.
I like to have fun.
So you got no problem being the funny guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And when we're performing, he's like the guy that's like, he's bouncing off the walls while he's playing guitar.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Surprised he hasn't broken a leg yet.
I haven't broken any bones at all.
At East Lynn, when we were performing, like, the kids in my school started laughing, and I was just like, what in the world? What am I doing wrong? Why are they laughing at me? And then out of the corner of my eye, I see Connor, like, jumping up and down. I'm like, oh, it's Connor. But I loved how he brought the energy to the atmosphere and how he likes to have fun.
Yeah,
so.
That's great. Well, let me say this. We need to wrap it up. But I think we would really be remiss if we didn't give some credit, really where credit is due, to some people in your lives that if it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing, and that's your folks. It runs downhill, whether it's functionality or dysfunction or whatever. and you guys have got some great folks. I mean, it shows by your attitudes, the way you, your stature, the way you address yourself, issues, just talking today. So I just personally want to congratulate your parents. I think that's awesome. Really quickly, let's get everybody's statement about their mom and dad. Because and there's one out here in the office listening, so make sure that you make it real sweet. Right? I'm just kidding. What do you want to say about mom and dad? Who wants to start?
I'll start. My parents are great. They always have. Actually, when I first started learning drums, I wanted to quit, but they were like, "No, you can't quit." And so I wasn't too stubborn about it. But I'm really thankful that they didn't let me stop, because I would never be here if they didn't believe in me. And also, not a parent, but someone that's helped us a lot that I felt like we needed to mention was Tom Cox.
Tom Cox, formerly from Falling Up.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Now he's with Archer's Rise, but he was the one who actually wrote the song and kind of put it together for us. And in building our confidence, he was really important. So, yeah.
That's okay, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, right on. And let's give a shout out to Andy Rosen too, right?
Yeah.
Your guys' former youth pastor. Yeah.
And Tamel, his wife, she was like kind of, she's important in running the whole fine arts thing on the district level. So she kind of helped us along too.
Connor?
I love my mom and my dad. And like Jonah, when I first started playing guitar, I wanted to quit, but they were like, "Nope, we got you this guitar. You're not quitting." Haha. And I had a guitar teacher, and I stayed with him for about, probably the first year. Yeah, almost exactly 1 year. And then I quit because I just had so much on my plate as a 5th grader. I mean, we all know how it gets. And then I just...
Hard knock life there, Connor.
What?
Hard knock life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just quit, and I've been self-taught ever since, and Colin's helped me a lot. Tyler Hayes, he was one of the interns. He helped me a lot, and he's in both of them. I just pretty much owe what I know a lot about guitar to. I owe it to them. And but I love my mom and my dad, and thank you.
Right on. Thank you, Connor. Elena?
I can't say enough about my parents. I have a great relationship with both of my parents, and we're really close. My dad is the one who gives me constructive criticism and what I need to work on and what I kind of need to tone down. And then my mom is just like the loving one, the one that says, she's always saying how well John and I do no matter what, no matter if we mess up or not. And my parents, my dad's a farmer, and he's always wanted to be a pilot, and his dad made him farm. So I think my dad is kind of letting us live our dreams, what we want to do, because he never got that. And I'm so thankful that God has blessed me with such amazing parents that has supported us.
Very nice. Allison?
My mom and dad have helped me so much in my journey, both as a Christian and as a musician. I've been in church since I can remember, and going to Oak Creek, I've been going to Oak Creek since I was 2, and so it's really helped to have a strong faith-based community around me. And also, as musicians, my mom sings as well, and she's always encouraged me to do choir and go out there and sing. And my dad isn't musical at all, but he still comes to all my performances to see me, and it just really helped to have that support.
Right on. John?
Mine's the same as Elena's and stuff, and because there's not really any words to fully describe my parents. And related to Jonah too, when I first did piano lessons,
I'm not related to you.
Okay, yeah. When I first did piano lessons, which was in the middle of my 5th grade year, I hated it. I did not want to do it, and I told my mom I want to quit, and she was like, "No, you're not quitting." And so if my mom if my mom didn't ever give up on me, I wouldn't anywhere be where I am right now.
Right. And I just want to mention that you and Elena are brother and sister, and Allison and Connor are brother and sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Colin.
Okay.
Be careful, Colin.
Well, to all of you listeners, you might not know this, but my dad used to be, still is, extremely musical. And he kind of kick-started my musical career. I remember one day in, I think it was 4th or 5th grade, he pulled out his guitar and he was just plucking around on the strings. And I said, "Hey, Dad, can I try something?" And the first thing he taught me was they're called harmonics. And that was the very first thing I ever learned on guitar. And then he taught me a song. And I learned the chords for that song, and I just kept pushing forward. And then that led me to do band in 6th grade, and I'm still in band with actually the same music teacher. And so I'm really, really thankful that my dad showed me how to do that stuff on guitar in the very first place, because I would never, ever think of where I would be today without my dad. And then my mom is kind of my cheerleader. I'm also in sports, and I do a lot of other recreational activities. So she just kind of goes to those and really, really cheers me on. Well, actually, she can harmonize really well.
Sing,
She can sing really well. She's just really, really brought me up in a lot of things, as well as my dad. So I'm just really, really thankful that they have both put me on this musical journey.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for doing this. This is great. And folks, again, we'll post the phone number on the website. And by the way, if any of you are in the Albany, Oregon area, and you would like to meet these fine young people, visit us out at Oak Creek Christian Center out on Columbus here in Albany, Oregon. You can visit oakcreekcc.org for the website and directions on how to get there. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You bet. God bless you. All right, my friends, until our next broadcast, this is the Monty'man with the band Relentless, and we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Kitty, 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 kitty.